Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. In this video we're going to be talking about my Game Week 1 team review as well as some transfer plans ahead of the deadline this Saturday. This video is brought to you by myself, FPL.CARNAGE, in association with GW1. Without further ado, let's get right into it. My team amassed a total of 66 points rather this last game week. I had Nick Pope in goal, 9 points from him. It was really close. It was a really close game rather, the Newcastle Southampton game. I wasn't really sure which way it was going to go, especially with the early red card for Fabian Shaw. But it's really great to have Nick Pope back in the game, back and go for Newcastle. He adds a little bit of um, safety to their defense, right? Gets a lot of saves for them, and he was really crucial for the season where they went to Champions League. So yeah, it's great to have him back. He got 9 points, clean sheets, made a few saves, got on the bonus points as well. So I was actually really excited for his point return. Also seeing that I'm not really a fan of going for expensive keepers in the game. I prefer to go for the budget enablers, 4.5, 4.0 if there are any, and then invest the money somewhere else. So 9 points from him, really great start to the season. He has a few great fixtures coming up. So yeah, 9 points from him, really great. Kwanzaa, I was so disappointed not to have gotten the complete 6 points from Kwanzaa. And the slot said it was a tactical substitution, which doesn't really sound good for him. I do not see him starting the Brentford game for Liverpool. I do see Konate coming back into the lineup. Kwanzaa's price has also dropped from 4.5 to 4.4. So I do actually advise that if you still have him, it's best to keep him. You never can tell really. He still may end up starting the Brentford game, but just from the way the whole tactical substitution was spoken about by the coach, I don't really see him starting the game against Brentford. But 1 point from him was really disappointing. Could have at least stayed on to 60th minutes, gotten the 6 points. Well, yeah, that's 1 point from him. William Saliba, nothing much to say about him. Best defense in the league last season. Great start to the season. 6 points from him. Could have easily gotten about 8 points. I think he was on two bonus points before the game, came to an end. Ryan made some decent saves that took him up to two bonus points and took Saliba out of the bonus point system. But 6 points from him. Arsenal have been getting a lot of set pieces. He has attacking threat from set pieces. With the addition of the clean sheets, really great potential. I do advise to have Arsenal defensive assets going into, the coming game weeks. Mikolenko 1 point, another really disappointing return from my defender. I actually was expecting a lot more clean sheets from my defenders in this Game Week 1, but I mean, I don't know what the issue right now is with Everton. I think they're still struggling with the transition from Onana leaving the team and Brantwaite being out injured. So the defense isn't as solid as we would like it to be. Everton had the second best defense last season and considered the least amount of goals at home. So, I mean, if you have an Everton defender, I still advise that you keep them. Sean Dyche is known for his, defensive qualities in the defense and all of that. So, but 1 point return from him wasn't really great, but looking forward to, I want to see what the outcome of the game is, going into the Game 2 deadline. So yeah, Nkunku 1 point subbed off before the 60 minutes mark. Another really disappointing return. I really had high hopes for him, but then again, I'm not going to really judge him too hard because the game was a tough game. He was played out of position. Although I am hoping that he gets a start in the game against Wolves, seeing as he started the Conference League game. He didn't play. He didn't reach the 60 minutes mark in the Conference League game as well. But that isn't really an assurance that he's going to start the Wolves game. But I do really hope he starts and plays in his natural position. Like we saw him play at Leipzig where he scored a lot of goals. I do believe that if we see him play in his natural position, we will begin to see the Nkunku that we all remember, and he would be a really great value, at 6.5. So yeah, 1 point from him. Disappointing, but I don't really blame him. I want to see what he does like when he's played in his natural position in a free, full fluid flowing Chelsea attack. Gordon 3 points. He actually had the ability to have, returned more than this. I feel like because of the red card, like I said earlier, Newcastle weren't, able to fully express themselves in the game. Glad he was able to get off with 3 points anyways. I mean, could have been worse. Could have been a whole lot worse. But yeah, 3 points from Gordon, King Mo Salah. It's expected from him. Returned in all, opening games for the past 7 seasons. 14 points from him. 28 points as captain. I was actually really nervous when he had gotten just the one assist, but yeah, when he got the second goal, I mean, it got us, it got us going. So 28 points from him as captain. Emil Smith Rowe, one that I'm actually looking forward to seeing what comes out of his game. He got into really decent positions in the game against Manchester United in the opening weekend. But yeah, I didn't feel like he got the necessary opportunities to, make those decisive passes like he would or he used to when he was at Arsenal. Um, but yeah, Sander Berge has just come in from Burnley to Fulham. They've, finalized the deal for him, Anderson. So I do believe that Fulham are going to have a better defensive structure, which would allow him to, um, play in a more advanced role and fully express himself without like having to defend, track back, and all of that. He has been playing as an attacking midfielder for Fulham since he signed for them in the preseason and the first game against Man U. But I do think with the coming fixtures that are a lot better than the opening game, I do hope and I believe that yeah he has the potential to return a lot of points between now and game week 7 when the fixtures begin to get a lot difficult. Erling Haaland 7 points, a little bit expected from him. He returned in his last two opening day fixtures since he signed for Man City. He returned a hat trick, or rather, he scored a hat trick against Chelsea in the preseason. He's looked really, really sharp for Man City. It was a really, really great game for him. Got into decent positions, got 7 points, got a yellow card though. It could have easily been an 8 pointer for him. Kudos to the guys that, managers out there that went for him on the armband. Alexander Ishak, 5 points. Like I said, could have been a lot more for the Newcastle attacking assets. Was really terrible for Murphy owners as well because he got subbed off due to the red card. Ishak, on the other hand, got an assist. Um, should have been a lot more. On penalty duties as well. I do still fancy Ishak to get something away from the next 2, 3 game weeks. So yeah, but 5 points from him, not so bad. And then Solanke with 2 points. I was really pleased with Solanke's return, not just because, you know, he scored 2 points, yes, but it was his first game, like first official game for Spurs. He didn't really play any game for them in the preseason, and he looked really good for them. And for FPL managers, I think it was crucial to see him actually get full 90 minutes on the pitch. I mean, we saw Son get subbed off, we saw Madison get subbed off, we saw Brennan Johnson get subbed off, but he got full 90 minutes. He actually got into a lot of decent positions on the field, missed a few goal scoring chances, and the important thing is that he's getting these chances. And the Solanke we know, sooner than later, he would start burying these chances. I do actually fancy him to get his first return officially for Tottenham in the next game. It's going to be a home game. So, yeah, 2 points from Solanke, 66 points overall in my team. Now, I'm going to be talking about a few transfer plans in each position that I'm considering ahead of the deadline. In defense, I'm looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you watch the game against Liverpool in game week 1, he looked really, really good for them. He dominated the game in his position, from his position. It was really great when he inverted into the midfield. He was also on 3 bonus points just before he was subbed out. I do believe if he had managed to stay on, he might have been tied with Salah on the 3 bonus point system. But he's looked really great, looked really sharp. Um, if you've watched Arne Slot, you would know that he loves his attacking wing backs to, really push up, really get involved in the attack, but also maintain a solid defensive structure. So I think Arnold is actually going to be a really good shout. He's one to keep an eye on ahead of going into, the deadline in game week 2. For the managers that have sold Kwanzaa and looking for, or looking to sell Kwanzaa and looking for a possible replacement, yeah, Robinson is a good shout. He really is a good shout. He was in 3 bonus points up until they considered in the game against Manchester United. But I do strongly believe that Rico Lewis might be a great punt, right? I do believe he might be a really, really great punt. This is solely because if you watched the game against Chelsea, you saw that he really picked up really, really decent positions in the game against Chelsea. He was fantastic playing off as a right back, inverting into the midfield. He was confident on the ball, had good ball distribution as well. Yes, we know that Kyle Walker is the captain. He seems more nailed at the moment, but I do really think that Lewis is going to give him a run for his minutes this season. Guardiola has already, mentioned in a few press conferences that he's going to give Rico Lewis, James McCarthy, some more chances, some more game time. So I do believe that Rico Lewis may be a good punt. I actually have a feeling that he's going to start the game against Ipswich Town. So yeah, Rico Lewis, a really great punt if you're looking for a strong differential to put in your team. I think he could be a way to go. In the midfield, I'm looking at Eberechi Eze and Bukayo Saka. Now for Eberechi Eze, we saw a fantastic goal he scored in the opening weekend against Brentford get ruled out. The game against West Ham has always been a high scoring fixture for both teams. Eze has a really good record against West Ham. I actually back him to get an attacking return against West Ham. I don't think Glasner would want to lose two games in a spin either. Mateta is slowly getting back into his rhythm. He came back late from, the Olympics. So I do believe that Eze would be a really good shout. He's on penalties, he's on free kicks, I think he's on corner kicks as well. So yeah, he's one I'm looking at, getting into my team maybe before the deadline. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm still considering whether I want to keep Nkunku. So yeah, I'm still, trying to figure that out. But yeah, Eze is one I have on my watch list. Bukayo Saka as well. A really decent route into if not the best route into the Arsenal attacking side. Bukayo Saka, we saw him get a goal and an assist in the opening game against Wolves. He's a premium. He's the best attacking asset, best option to own in the Arsenal's lineup. Yeah, he is one that I'm also keeping a watch for going into the deadline. And then in the attack, we have Kai Havertz. We saw him also get a goal, get an assist against Wolves. He's been getting into a lot of good positions. He scored about 14 goals for Arsenal last season. I think he's beginning to grow in confidence, get his confidence back. Mateta, like I mentioned, we may see him get back into his goal scoring groove now, that he has had more time to train with the team. They're going to play in the first home game. I think Mateta is another person to keep an eye on going into Gameweek 2. These are the possible transfer plans that I have in mind, possible players that I may be looking to move into my team ahead of the deadline. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. If you're new around here, please click on the like button, subscribe. If you have any comments, any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll do well to get back to them as soon as I can. Once again, this video is brought to you by myself, FPL.CARNAGE, in association with GW1. Thank you guys, and see you in the next FPL video. Bye.